Morning, bro.
Morning, bro. How's it going?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad, mate. So I
Nice.
was just gonna take a look at your chart that you sent in this morning. Um, uh, I was talking on Discord from my phone. I've literally just got down to my computer.
That's all right.
But I like the analysis, Salim. It's coming along really well.
Oh, thank you. Thanks,
I mean,
appreciate it, bro.
in terms of like how you're marking up your levels, how clean the charts are, you know what you're looking for, you're identifying consolidation, you're talking about levels that you want to see respected. Like in terms of progress, man, you made a lot of progress.
Thank you, bro. Appreciate it. I really appreciate that.
No,
Thank
that's
you.
all right, mate. I'll just being honest with you.
Thank you.
But yeah, so morning everyone.
Hi guys.
How's it going?
Morning,
Yeah, good.
Wilson.
Yeah, man. What's up?
Yeah, so it looks like my buy, it got stopped out at break even here, so I've just had to pay a little bit of commission on it. So basically the idea was when I obviously woke up, I see this 15-minute candle closing above this minor resistance. I see the next bearish candle wick down, and it closed like a weak bearish candle. So I kind of entered in on the bottom of this candle here, expecting price to continue up. It moved around 8 pips into profit before coming back. So obviously I knew that this area was a potential rejection area, but I was kind of expecting price to break through this level based on the 4-hour. And I was looking at, okay, if we break through this area, we could continue moving up to fill the wick. But either way, I mean, the Asian session analysis, the daily time frame analysis was all correct. So I did speak about if we broke the high right over here, that it can continue up on the 4-hour to retest this resistance. If you take a look on the daily, when we looked at the daily, we just knew, I could just tell that this was a huge rejection. So if the next daily was going to wick down and then break the high, it was a very good chance at that point that it would continue moving up, and it's already moved around 30 pips. So it's currently pulling back, which is fine. So we're going to do some fresh analysis here in a moment, just because it seems as though potentially we could see some correction if we're going to reject hard off this area. But obviously we don't want to. Yeah, I'm not going to rush into a second trade here. So I had a first trade, it got stopped out. I break even, had some buys, and then yeah. So now we just gotta wait. We just gotta wait at this point.
I mean, it does seem like we've got less volume at the minute. We just need to like create like a minor support on the 30-minute or even the 1 hour, and maybe you could have like another entry on the retest of the high,
Yeah,
possibly.
yeah, that's very true. I mean, if we think about it, if Asian, right, during the Asian hours is gonna move price moving bullish, usually there's gonna be a pullback, and I knew that, but my theory was that since we're creating support coming into pre-London, my idea was that, okay, well, if we're creating support, then maybe it's not going to pull back, and actually maybe it's going to continue with volume to move up, because the daily, it looks like it's moved a lot, but actually from the point of daily high, it's only moved around 30 pips, right? Which isn't a lot in the grand scale of how much we see GJ can move. So my idea was, if we're creating support over here, then, there's a potential chance that we could break through this level. So that's why I anticipated the break of this area. So when this candle was coming above this range, that's the point at which I put stops at break even, because it made no sense for price to come back in the range. So when it came back in the range, I was like, okay, yeah, more than likely I'm going to get stopped out at this point, which did happen. So now we're just kind of looking to see, okay, well, are we going to correct this move or... But looks like we are reacting to this support here on the 15-minute time frame. So we'll have to see how we get on here. But I'm going to do some fresh analysis here in a minute. Let's just wait for a few more people to join.
Yeah, I was kind of just like, obviously I was looking at the range to the left, the buys. I was waiting for like a big push and then maybe getting on retracement as form support.
Mm-hmm.
But obviously now it's rejecting, so I just have to wait.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, your idea was good though. Like, if you're expecting that push, then it could have easily just pushed before
Yeah.
London.
Yeah, the other thing as well is we always look for that weak candle. And the structure happened here. It just so happened it just didn't quite break through this zone. Because when I was looking at the structure and I was looking, okay, well, it's doing this above, just above a resistance. So is that indicating that with volume we're going to break through this area and then continue on? So my next target would have been, you know, somewhere up over here, around 141, 340, which is obviously that Wickfield area on the daily. So yeah, we're just gonna have to wait and see what happens here. But right now we're just consolidating. We're rejecting 141, 220, and we're also rejecting 141, 140. So it could even be, you know, we want to wait for a close above this area to signal that, okay, we're going to continue further on at that point. And then we don't have a massive range. Let's take a look on the 30-minute. Yeah, it's not a massive range. Yeah, it's not a great range, but I don't know. We'll see. But I will do some fresh analysis here in a minute. Morning. But there's no reason to say, well, we can't correct some of this move. Okay. Right, since we've got a few more people here, let's do some fresh analysis here on GJ so we can kind of work out what's kind of going on here. So let's take a look at the weekly first. So we know that yesterday's candle could have been the weekly bottom wick, right? You know, create that bottom wick, that liquidity wick. Now, we always said for the weekly to continue bullish, it needs to break the high of the previous weekly candle, which would be 141.400. So the idea that we could still head further up is still in play, especially if we break this area or even come up to fill that wick, because then our next target at that point would be 142.700, right? 142.600 area, the wick fill, based on the weekly time frame. Taking a look on the daily, the daily candle has currently broken the high of the previous daily candle. It's coming up, it's coming bullish, it's currently retracing. Based on the daily, we're kind of targeting this next zone here. You know, around 141.400, around 141.360, 370, something like that, right? Let's take a look on the 4 hour. Now, looking on the 4-hour time frame, if we just remove everything here for a sec, seems as though we are approaching a resistance. We know that. We know that we're currently rejecting a resistance. We created a support. So in theory, if we could stay above 14900, 148.70, then we should continue moving bullish. Now, this is a 33 pip range. I doubt we're going to retrace the whole 33 pips, but as long as we stay above 140, 900, 140, 850, this 4-hour support, as long as we can stay above this area, we can continue moving bullish. Now, looking on the 4-hour, once we break above 141, 200, we have another area over here around, what's this price? 141, 360, which is exactly where we tapped into. I think it was the week before. Now, if we can break this area, then I think at that point there's a very high possibility that we could reach this next area of resistance, which is going to be at 141, 750. So we're just going to bear that in mind. Let's take a look at the 1-hour time frame. Okay, now looking on the 1-hour time frame, we can see how we are rejecting this resistance over here. Let's just remove that for a sec. So we're rejecting this area here on the 1-hour time frame. We also have a 1-hour support. So maybe this is the area that price is going to retrace to around 141 to back to this area to continue moving up to retest this high it created and then continue on to 141, 300. Something that could happen there. Let's now finally take a look at the 30-minute time frame. So looking on the 30-minute time frame, seems as though we're trying to close below this support over here. Looking left, we can adjust this resistance. We reacted to this 30-minute resistance over here, right? Now let's take a look on the 15-minute time frame. 15-minute candle is trying to go bearish. And if we adjust this zone from a 15-minute perspective, because we have some more information here, right, seems as though this 15-minute candle is trying to close below this area, right? So we're going to have to try and see, maybe is this the pullback early on before London Open, and we're going to respect the support and we're going to continue moving up in 5 minutes time? Or are we going to start to close below the support, and are we going to come into some form of corrective phase? So let's remove this here for a minute. So from a 30-minute perspective, if price can break below 141, 140, I think there's a very good chance that it can continue down back to around 141 at that point. Right, now let's measure this range here. This range is around 15 pips. Now these ranges, they do get pretty small here on GJ, because if we want to be conservative, we have a target that's only like 8 pips away. But looking on this 30-minute, it's retracing quite hard. It looks like this whole rejection or this whole move down may be a liquidity grab as we're coming into the last 3 minutes, and it's retracing like this. Let's take a look on the 15. 15 is respecting this support. So I personally think that maybe the best possible thing we can do is to wait for price to break above 141, 220, because then at that point we would expect price to continue moving up. So let's take a look here on the 30-minute for some targets. So the first target we're talking about is around 141, 370. Obviously securing around 141, 340. Let's take a look further left above this area based on the 30-minute time frame. So once we break above 141, let's just say 380, our next target at that point would be 141, 500. This resistance right over here. Mark this out. And then if we can break above 141, 500, then our next point of target is going to be right over here around 141, 620. So the ranges do get smaller, but in terms of the higher time frame ranges, these are clean moves. So we should reciprocate that onto the smaller time frames. each ranges become around 10 pips each, this being slightly larger. So yeah, let's wait and see how we get on here. So we got around a minute left for this candle to close, and then we'll be coming into London Open. Probably best thing to do is going to be to wait for London Open, and then we can assess at that point, because it's kind of already pulled back. This was the pullback candle at 7:30, which was not what I expected. I expected the 7:30 to continue, and then there'd be some pullback at 8 a.m. But obviously each day is very different. So can you check GBP CHF, please? Retest coming in, taking the trade. If you send me a chart, I'm more than happy to check. It says there, send a labeled chart for review. So if you want my opinion, unless it's on a pair that I look at, then please send a chart, and I'll be more than happy to help. Okay, so we're now coming into London Open. The 15-minute candle closed bullish. Right, let's take a look at the 30-minute. The 30-minute closed bearish, and it closed above this area here. So now we're going to have to wait and see if we can close above 141.220. And if it continues on, then I think that it's fairly evident that this was the pullback. And then now we're creating support to continue moving up. Yeah, I think it's going to be important to wait for price to break out of this range here, based on the 15-minute time frame. Okay, while we wait here for GJ, let's take a look at gold. Looks like the analysis for the Asian session on gold also played out. Try to continue moving bullish. So let's remove everything here. Let's go to the daily time frame. So looking on the daily, yeah, it seems as though it's trying to surpass the high of the previous daily candle here on gold. Let's take a look at the 4-hour. So yeah, it looks like the 4-hour broke out of this consolidation to the upside, but the candle had no wick to the top. Take a look on the 1-hour time frame. Yeah, so we saw price break and close above around 3 a.m. Closing above this area, continue moving bullish, and now we have a minor resistance formed over here on the 1 hour time frame. Let's take a look on the 30-minute. Looking on the 30-minute, we have a resistance over here. We also have a support that was created right over here at 1856. So if this 30-minute candle closes above these two bearish candles, then I think at that point it can continue on coming up to 1863. It's going to be the target for gold. Let's take a look at the 15-minute. Yeah, so we've had a few 15-minute candles rejecting this area. So you would want to see a break and close above this zone, and then measure this range. This range is around 30 pips away, so it's pretty good. So that's what we're kind of looking at here on gold. Yeah, if the 1 hour can just come up and fill the wick and then continue on, for that to be confirmed, you would want to see the smaller time frames closing above this area. DJ is just ranging. But at the same time, if gold breaks this minor support that is created here, it could be breaking the highs to come down. If it breaks below 1859, then you could see a point of correction coming down to 1856 is going to be a good target there. I think gold's looking good to be the move here to continue bullish. GJ just looks like shit. Yeah, GJ, I'm gonna want to see a break and close above 141.220, because at the end of the day, it came up, broke the high, came down. This candle also broke the lows. If you look on the 15-minute, it's in a consolidation area. So, yeah, I want to see a break above 141.200. $141.220. Because then if we can break and close above 141.220, then we can anticipate the daily to continue on and fill the wick, and then just continue pushing at that point. But we're not sure whether this move up from the Asian session is going to get corrected or not. So we want to be as cautious as we can be. So I just thought for good learning purposes, I would just talk people through one of the potential ways that I knew that I was going to get stopped out. So if we look at price here, this 5-minute candle, it came up and it closed above that area. The next one wicked down, closed bearish, fine. But then we look at the next 5-minute candle, it came up and it broke above the high, moved into some good profits, and then came all the way back to close like a weak 5-minute candle. So when the next 5-minute candle wicked up and then broke the low, this was the point I was like, okay, there's going to be a very high chance I'm going to get stopped out at this point. So I was like, okay, it's probably best to put stops at break even. And if it hits my stop loss, then that's fine. But if it doesn't, because otherwise all I would have done was close 50%, right? Because we moved into profits, you know, we moved around 8 pips into profits, and then when price is pulling back to my entry after 8 pips, usually I'm closing 50% of the position. But based on the 5-minute structure, I could identify that if it breaks this low right here, then my trade's probably more not valid than anything. So that is why I put my stops at break even and just let price hit stop loss at that point. But yeah, GJ's just literally consolidating right now. Seems like we've got a real lack of volume here. So we're just going to have to wait. Okay, let's take a look at the Ftse 100. Ftse. So let's start off here with the daily. So previous daily candle went bearish, right? It closed below these two previous daily candles. So if this current daily is wicking up and then breaks the low, maybe there's going to be some form of correction, but we're not really sure at this point. Let's take a look on the 4-hour time frame. So looking on the 4-hour, now we do have some issue because we have a support right over here, and it seems as though the 4-hour candles are closing back above this area. So if some support is being created on the smaller time frames back above this zone, then there's a high chance that maybe actually the daily is going to go bullish, and 4-hour is going to continue moving up to correct some of this downside move, so we can kind of target this zone right over here. Let's take a look on the 1-hour time frame. Now looking on the 1-hour, let's just remove everything here. It's a bit messy, but in terms of a zone, I mean, it seems as though we're creating a support right over here. It's a very weak support so far, but it seems as though we are trying to create this support. So this is obviously the low that was created down at this area over here. So basically, when we start breaking above this resistance, which we keep tapping into, I think at that point then the Ftse can continue on and then start to correct that 4-hour downside move. So looking on the 1-hour time frame, we have clean range up to 6836, and then we have another clean range up to 6856. Take a look on the 30-minute. Yeah, it does seem as though we are creating some support in this area. It came up, this candle came up and broke the high of the previous 30-minute. It's now retracing. So yeah, definitely having some issues in this area. But we have a nice clean range above this zone, coming up to this resistance. Just take a look on the 15 real quick. Yeah, so it is creating support here, which is good, because then it does tell me that, okay, maybe the 4 hours are going to just continue moving bullish, and then this should reach the top of this 4-hour candle. So we'll keep an eye on that based off the 30-minute. Okay, it seems as though GJ is trying to come up above 141.220 at this point, which is pretty good. So seems as though my anticipation of the buys was correct, just we got the pullback earlier than it usually would do, since at 8 AM I'm not really seeing any pullback of any form here. So I suppose we're just gonna have to wait and see what happens. Let's see in the next 2 minutes. Because if the 15-minute candle breaks and closes above this area, and then the next one can wick down and then break the high, then we can continue moving bullish. But we need a break and close above, otherwise, yeah, it's just ranging at that point. We can't, you know, we want to take good trades, good probability trades. Then we need to make sure that price is breaking and closing above our key area. got around a minute left here. Morning. Just take a look on the 5 minute. Yeah, we need a break and close above this area. $30 going to be a stronger confirmation, but the issue you have with the 30-minute is you risk missing the push up, which may happen, but I mean we can't even look for buys unless this 15-minute closes above this area here. So we got around 45 seconds left for this candle to close. It's very important as well to wait for the candle to close. You know, the last thing you want to do is be jumping into buys just because you see it coming above this area. You need to wait for the candle to break and close above. Very important. The other thing as well, let's start to map out potential. Yeah. Okay, well, it seems as though price could not break and close above this area. So the 15-minute candle came above 141.220 again and closed back in the range at this point. So I think, again, now it's just going to be some waiting involved. So if the 15-minute candle failed to close above, then we're waiting on the 30-minute at this point. But if it breaks this high right here, it can continue moving bullish, right? There's a probability, but there's also the chance it could come right back up in the range. So I'm going to be cautious. I'm going to wait for a break and close above this area, just because it seems to be an area of rejection. So just got to wait. Be nice to get to 100 viewers again today. Beat the record yesterday. We had 101 people on the stream, so that'd be really nice to get that on a consistent basis now. See, look at price now. We were coming above the range, and now we're coming right back down. Yeah. But yeah, this is a no trade range either within this area here. Okay, let's take a look at GCAD while we wait here. See what GCAD's doing. Let's start off here with the daily time frame with GBP CAD. So it seems as though GCAD on the daily time frame, it closed back above a key support level on the daily. Now, if this current daily is wicking down and then starts to break its own high or the high of the previous daily candle, then maybe there's going to be some form of corrective move at that point. Maybe to come up and fill these wicks and then continue on. Let's take a look at the 4 hour. Now, the reason we say that is because we can see here on the 4 hour, we've created support right here. When we look left, we're going to see this is a same price zone. So now we can focus in on the most recent price action. So now we can just say, okay, well, we know this is a daily zone, but in effect, the most recent price action is signaling that we have a 4 hour support right over here. It seems as though price is retracing back to this 4 hour support. What we can kind of make out here is that it's reacted of this area here to the left hand side. Let's take a look on the 1 hour time frame. So looking on the 1 hour, seems as though we tried to create a support over here, and then price came down, broke down. Now we are approaching a support down over here, which is around, yeah, not that far away, only a few pips away. But then if we break this area, then we can continue further down to obviously this next zone. Let's take a look on the 30-minute here for a minute. So it seems as though the 30-minute was consolidating here before the 30-minute at 7 a.m. closed below that zone for GCAD to continue moving down. So I think the next target here for GCAD is going to be this support right here. So it should reach this support, and then if it can break this area, then it can continue further down to, what's this price, 1.72500. And let's measure this range. This is around a 13-14 pip range, which isn't too bad. If it can break below that, then we have a nice sell-off coming all the way down to this support here. So obviously you would want to keep an eye on the high time frames because they're at some strong levels right now. But looking on the 30-minute, it is signaling a lot, you know, some more bearish or some more downside at that point. Okay, let's take a look here. Yeah, we got like 9 minutes left for this candle to close. So just gonna need to wait at that point. For sells, we would want to see candles closing below this area. Again, we'd want to see like a some form of retest and then a continuation at that point. The only issue I have for sells is we don't actually have a lot of range. It looks like we do, but we don't. There's actually not that much range. So even if we was to bounce off this zone here, this is only like 7-6 pips away, and then if we can continue on, then we have a fair range for about 15 pips. Let's take a look at Euro JPY. Start off here with the daily. So it seems as though daily has come back in this range here, right? If this was resistance, this is the area we should have respected. Seems as though daily came back in this range. So I'm thinking, is daily gonna correct this strong bullish candle now, since we're closing back in the range at that point, right? Let's take a look at the 4 hour. So looking on the 4 hour time frame, we're gonna see that we are just consolidating right now. We have a resistance, and we're also rejecting the support. So when we break this support at 126,600, I think that's gonna be the point at which this whole bullish move will be corrected. Let's take a look at the 1 hour. Yeah, it's just in a dirty range at the moment. Yeah, that's a whole no trading range on EJ. I think you need to stick to like the 1 hour time frame of this, because that is just garbage. I just spelled garbage wrong. That's embarrassing. Forgot how to spell garbage for a minute there. Yeah, so that's garbage. That's no trading. Yeah, no one should be taking a buy or a sell within this range here on EJ. It's just a super messy range. Let's go back to GJ here, see what's going on. Just still consolidating. Let's take a look at Euro NZD. Let's clear everything here. Let's go to the daily. So it seems as though the daily is... The previous daily candle went bullish. But the current daily candle, we're not really sure whether it's going to, you know, start to create resistance. If it's also going to go bullish, we're not really sure at this point. So let's take a look at the 4 hour to get some more information. So looking at the 4 hour, seems as though we have a support over here, which price is currently tapped into. Seems as though it's rejecting. We have a high that was created up over here. Let's take a look at the 1 hour. So it seems as though Euro NZD kind of done the same similar situation to what happened yesterday with GJ. So actually it bounced off an area within a consolidation zone, right? It bounced off this support. It's now moving bullish. We do have a resistance right over here though, where we could have some issues. But at the same time, if it closes it back above this support that it broke down from, then I think it's easily going to come up and retest that area, which is around 15 pips away. Let's take a look on the 30 minute. Yeah, if Euro NZD can create some support back above this area, 1.69340, then it has a clean range at that point, coming back up to 1.69520. I think that's going to be a good range. In fact, let's just make this up a little bit, this area. I think this area is going to be a good target. Yeah. Awesome. Yeah, right over here. I think that's going to be a good target for Euro NZD. Let's go back to GJ. Okay. Let's focus on GJ here for a sec. See what's going on. Just range at the moment. Nothing. Yeah, just nothing. What about Euro USD? You need to send a chart, Trev, and I'm more than happy to take a look at your idea for Euro USD. I'm still holding my sell on GJ. I haven't slept tonight. Well, Charles Arthur, sorry. James Arthur, that's the singer. I don't know why I read that wrong. Sorry, Charles. Yeah, my advice to you, mate, if you're holding sells, just take a look at the price action. The current price action is bullish on the smaller time frames. We can see that from yesterday at 3 o'clock, it's been moving bullish, right? So my advice to you is to, obviously I'm not going to tell you what to do. My just advice is to close your positions because, you know, if you're holding sells, hoping for price to go down and it goes further up, then you're going to be sitting in even more drawdown and you're going to be very annoyed. So yeah, my advice is close your positions and yeah, just accept the loss. And you know, when price is moving bullish but you're holding sells, it makes no sense. But yeah, I can't tell people what to do. But I can only advise, I suppose. Now, I know some people are going to look at this 30-minute, right? And if this 30-minute closes below this support here, people are going to start looking for sells. But my only issue is if we take a look on the 15-minute, we're going to see how price is ranging. So what I would want to see, the next 15-minute candle closing below this area. So if we get a 15-minute candle closing below this support, then I would say, okay, I would agree. There's a very high chance for the second half of that next 30-minute to continue down. But until it does that, I don't see sells yet at this point. But we need to wait. But yeah, Monday, Tuesday, GJ was really difficult yesterday. It seems to have been, it's not difficult yet, as of yet this morning. It's just not moving as it usually would at these sort of times. But that's perfectly fine. I agree. I've been watching GJ for the last 3-4 hours. It's bullish. Yeah. Yeah. See. Yeah, the analysis all played out for the daily time frame and the higher time frames. It just all happened way too. Just happened when I was sleeping, you know. So as we can see, okay, let's take a look now. So we can see now that the 15-minute candle is still consolidating. Now, if we take a look at the 30-minute candle right over here, it closed below the support, right? It closed below the support. Now, my issue about taking an impulse entry down over here, let's say, for example, is that we could very easily come back in this range. The reason being is because if we take a look on the smaller time frames, you're going to see that it's still consolidating. So you have a little bit of conflict of what's the word? There's like a conflict that's going on. There's a contradiction. So on the one hand, you have a time frame saying we're breaking support, but on the smaller time frames where you zoom in and you get to see more information, you still see consolidation. So for me, I think the best thing that I'm gonna do is I'm gonna wait for at least a 15-minute candle to close below this area, because then I could anticipate that the second half of, let's say, the 30-minute would also continue moving down, you know. But until then, I don't want to rush straight into a sell after the bias was bullish, you know. The higher time frames are bullish, the daily's bullish, and it's only since the 4-hour do we start to, you know, see bearish candles. So yeah, I'm gonna be cautious. I'm gonna wait for this 15-minute at least the first 15-minute candle to close, so we can kind of see where we're at. The other thing as well is that I would want to wait on the 15-minute, because in terms of rejections, we have rejections over here, right? With candles breaking the lows. Look at this candle here. It got below everything and came back in the range, right? So in terms of an impulse entry, I don't think it's going to be a good idea. I think it's going to need to be to wait for a candle to break and close below. The same with the buys. You know, we have rejections over here, right? So we have a conflict of interest. So like I say, either we need a break above this area, or we need a break and close below this area here, because otherwise you can just play this trap of candles breaking highs, coming into this rejection, candle breaking lows, coming down into this rejection, and then easily coming back in the range. This can happen all day long. So when you see rejection to the upside, rejection to the downside, you just need to wait for a confirmation, and it's going to be a lot easier at that point. Kelsey, did you manage to sort out your magic keys?
No, I haven't sorted that out yet.
Okay.
Give it a go today.
Yeah, sure. Let me know if you have any issues with it.
Mm-hmm.
I'll see what I can do. So yeah, look at this now. Look at this 30-minute. Even though despite the 30 closed below support, we can evidently see on the 15 it's just still consolidation. So also, did everybody who's in the Zoom now, have everybody got access to the course, the HFX course? Did everybody get easy access into that while I'm here?
Yeah, I'm sorted.
Yeah. Awesome. There's going to be, so basically up at the moment is like all the webinars that were on the Discord, plus a couple more that I've added on. But pretty much the rest will be just kind of trickling through the rest of the week. So, but yeah, so everybody else in the Zoom had easy access, no issues or anything.
No, it's all sorted. I think you just need to like verify the email address, and it just like give you the to set the password and everything. So
okay, perfect.
Pretty much like straightforward.
Yeah, it's fine. No, it made me laugh yesterday because I went on the students, so I have a list of everybody that obviously I've entered in to be allowed access, and it was funny because about 5 or 6 people who aren't part of the group have obviously cheekily tried to think that they can just sign up and that they were going to get it for free, but unfortunately they've obviously been let down when they've gone to access it and they can't. So, but yeah, no, I just wanted to make sure everybody who does have access has access.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, no worries. Oh, look at GJ. Yeah. Just take a look at the 15-minute here. Yeah, we still need to wait for a close above though. If it runs, it runs. So just gotta wait here. Be patient. Man, GJ's on crack today. Look at this. Yeah, this is, again, today is another day, similar to yesterday, where despite the trend is bullish and despite your bias, the market's not going to care about your bias. So be very cautious with how you trade today. We can clearly see it's breaking highs, it's breaking lows, it's 30 minutes closing outside, coming back in the range. So I do urge everybody to be really cautious today. I think we're going to look for good setups and a high probability setup only. even if we have to wait here all day. Obviously not all day. No, that was a joke. So has anybody seen anybody got Netflix? There in the Zoom call or in the YouTube.
Yeah, I've got it.
Have you seen this new program that's come out for 2021? I was watching 2 episodes of it last night. It's called World's Toughest Prison, right? But it's the one. It's not the one that has been on Netflix for ages. It's new. It's about this guy. He's from the UK, and he did a 12-year stretch in prison for a murder that he didn't commit. So it took him 12 years to clear his name, and now he's obviously got a contract with Netflix to film, right? And what he does is he goes round to prisons in the world that are notorious for being, like the toughest prisons, like whether it be the conditions, whether it be the inmates, whatever it is. But oh my God, man, it is crazy.
I've seen it. Yeah, that's my kind of thing. But I haven't seen the new episodes though. I've seen the other 4 seasons. I think the first 2 were some other guy, weren't they?
Oh, they must be, because this is a new guy.
Yeah, the one that done time for what something he didn't do.
Yeah. So he basically he goes in, right? He goes in and he stays for a week in the prison, as if he's a prisoner, right? He goes and stays in that prison, and that's how he can tell, the conditions or the type of prisoners. Like, he doesn't do it based on, like, he doesn't just go and visit. Like, he actually stays as a prisoner. So he goes to this. The first one I watched yesterday was the South African prison. Oh my God! Literally, he got put in this maximum security unit. And every single person in that prison was part of a gang, and he got put in this cell. And there's about 12 of them in there, and they didn't even care that the cameras were in there. They were basically like taking his shoes, telling him, "You're gonna do this. You're gonna do." It was just incredible. It was mad. I've never seen.
He's crazy for doing that. He's nuts.
I was like, mate, you're a nutter for doing that. Because, I mean, I know it's on camera and stuff, but I don't think they give that much of a crap. They didn't care about doing doing their life sentences, so.
Yeah, like if you're already in there for a life sentence, it doesn't get any worse, does it?
Nah. But, man, so they have this thing, right? So apparently, so basically he explains the culture and what they actually, how they operate. And so how it works, if 2 gang members have a fight or a disagreement, and apparently if they spill blood, so let's say they punch one and one of them spills blood, like, I don't know, has a bit of a nosebleed, whoever's the highest ranking guy in the gang who was present has to go and stab one of the prison officers. It's in there. And it's like, he asked one of the prison officers, he says, how do you cope knowing that any moment you could be the victim of, being stabbed? He was just like, I just try not to think about it. And I was like, man, how'd you do that job? Like, literally, you could be like cool with one of them, and then they have to go and stab you because it's part of their culture or whatever.
Some crazy rules in some of these prisons, but yeah, I'll give that a watch today.
Mate, honestly, it was mental. I couldn't believe what I was witnessing. Like, it's just crazy, but it's fucking dangerous, man. He's got some bottle going in there. I mean, he might to think like UK prisons. Obviously there's some not very nice men in there or whatever, and women, but To go to those type of prisons, I think they're on a little bit of a different level. You know, you don't get your TV, and you don't get your Xbox in your like. It was a dump as well. You know, it was horrible. But yeah, and then I watched this. So there's loads. He goes to like Mexico, Colombia, Sweden, like all these, such a variety. It's really good. But I managed to watch two. So I watched the South African one, and I watched one in Romania. So he goes to a Romania prison. And the problem that they have in Romania is that it's like 80% Romanian gypsies that are in the prisons. And yeah, they're pretty.
I've seen that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you've seen that one, yeah?
Yeah, I've just looked. I've literally watched all 4 of the first seasons already.
Oh, have you?
Yeah, but then obviously some of them were like a couple of years ago. But yeah, I remember that Romanian one.
Yeah, that's mad. Yeah, he went to the Romanian prison, and I mean the conditions there were not great either. But yeah, it's just crazy.
It's like each prison's just so different, like from country to country. But yeah, it's just some crazy rules and stuff in them as well.
Yeah, the one in the Philippines as well. That's a bad prison too. I mean, I think they had like 300 in a cell. Like it's that bad. It's just basically run by the gangs. Like the guards just don't really have influence. You know, they just let them do what they want. Oh man, it's just crazy. But yeah, I don't know. I just thought I'd bring it up, see if anybody had seen it. And if you haven't seen it, that's something I would recommend, man. That was a good watch.
They're really good. I just binge watched them, I think, one day.
Oh yeah. I mean, I'm not even one to sit and watch TV, I'll be honest, but that was worth to watch. But yeah, the South African one was good. That was really good. What is the name of the series? I think it's like World's Toughest Prison or something. Let me try and look it up.
Yeah, it's just World's Toughest Prisons, I think. And they've got 5 series of them now.
World's Toughest Prisons. Netflix. It's the Netflix one. This guy. Him. Yeah, this is it.
Yep, that's it.
Inside the World's Toughest Prisons. That's it. So, Raphael Rowe. That was it. So he spent 12 years behind bars for a crime he didn't commit. Yeah, this is an incredible watch, I have to admit. So he goes to the Philippines. I know there's actually, let's have a look here. Because I know there's plenty of episodes. Yeah, that's the South Africa one. That one there. He goes in. Look, he goes in and sleeps with them for a week. It's incredible. So that's the South Africa one. The Philippines one, didn't watch that one, but I saw the intro for it. Greenland, didn't watch that one. There are more episodes. There is more. When you actually have Netflix, there's more. But I think this is the best season I've seen of that particular show. Because it's like you actually, like the guy's in there. Yeah, look at GJ now, man. Just crap. Oh, someone's seen it. Paraguay episode is crazy. Oh, okay. Might have to save that one for tonight. Yeah, I might have to save that one for tonight. I think I'm going to do the Philippines and yeah, maybe I'll give Paraguay a go.
Yeah, Paraguay one's good. That's when it's like a massive prison, but like loads of people are sleeping outside and like doing drugs.
Really?
And they're like going through the bins trying to find anything to eat.
Really?
Yeah.
That's crazy, man.
It's quite sad, really.
Yeah. I mean, I saw the intro to, don't quote me, but I think it was the Denmark one. And the difference between, let's say, their prison system and, let's say, like, the Philippines is incredible. Like their prison system is all modern. They encourage like prisoners to like learn music, and they really push the whole like niceness, you know. That's their approach. So I think they spent like 30 grand on like a proper music studio for prisoners to have access to. I mean, I don't know if it obviously works. I've like looked into that, or I'm not really, it's not something I'm interested in, but I mean, yeah, I don't know. It seemed to be like the prisoners got on better with the guards there. They wasn't violent or nothing. But you go to the other ones, you have poor conditions. You would have thought the poor conditions would, you know, put someone off from ever trying to be in that situation, but seems to have, you know, no effect.
Yeah, I think like, was it Denmark or whatever, Germany? I think there's both of them or one of them, but it's more like rehab.
Yeah, it
And
seems more like a
yeah, rehabilitation.
That's it. Yeah. We'll just go rehab. It just looks like a rehab.
I suppose you got to have the resources for that though.
Yeah.
Like in these other countries, they're just trying to cram people in.
Yeah, I mean, I think obviously the argument is look, it's taxpayer money, right? So taxpayers are going to view it. Do they want their money to go to criminals who have, you know, committed murders, rapes, violence, robberies, all these things? Do they want their money to be given to those people to better their lives, when there's people who don't do those things that could do with bettering theirs, you know? So there's always that argument, but I mean, obviously you got to pay for the housing and the food and whatnot, but yeah, it's just pretty incredible to see, like, you know, what some of the prisons I suppose are like in this modern day that everybody likes to talk about, that, you know, oh, it's 2021 now, and you know, we live in a society where I suppose we don't really think about those type of conditions and whatnot. So let's take a look on GJ here on the 15-minute. Seems as though the 15-minute candle is trying to break the low of this 15-minute candle. But yeah, GJ is just a mess right now. Yeah, we need to wait. I need to wait. But it may be, well, it's not necessarily a no trading day because I had a trade before the stream. But it seems though it could be a no trading day on the stream here. So it looks like GJ's trying to break down. I definitely think we're coming down at this point because we came above this area now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times we've tried to come above 141, 200. So, I mean, we got 8 minutes left for the 30-minute to close. I think, yeah. I think if there's going to be an impulse entry, it's this entry right here, the break of this low. But I'm not inclined to take it because, you know, look how much it's just ranging. We could easily break this low and then come back in the range. So I'm not going to risk any capital based on that. I wanna wait for strong confirmations here today. So, yeah. But, yeah, I'm looking forward to finishing off some episodes tonight.
I was going to ask you, have you got your simulator on your MT5?
No, MT4.
Right, okay, yeah, because obviously at the moment I'm using it on a demo account on MT4, but I was wondering if you can put it on MT5.
I don't think you can. Yeah, that's why I had to use a MT4 account, my old MT4 account. I just plugged it in there. Yeah, I don't think you can use it on MT5. I don't think it's available on MT5.
Just trying to look now on the website, but I don't think you can either, by the looks of it.
Yeah, I don't think you can.
They'd probably have to update the whole software for it to work on MT5.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think so. I think maybe the only impulse entry that I see that could work, if this bullish 30-minute closes weak like it is now, and the next one wicks up and then breaks the low right over here, I think that could be a good sell. But apart from that, that's the only trade idea within this range, technically, that I'm willing to take. Just because of these multiple rejections now. Let's take a look at the 1 hour time frame. We also got 6 minutes left for the 1 hour. My issue is when I see 1 hour candles like this, usually you see a bullish 1 hour candle that just comes up to fill the wicks or something like that. So I think we're going to need to just, yeah, let's just wait these 5 minutes and see what happens here. Right, hold on, just be 1 sec. Okay, we've got 5 minutes left here. Let's check out the Ftse. Ooh, Ftse's gone bearish. Let's take a look at the higher time frames. Yeah, looks like it's trying to come down. So where's the target? Obviously, we have this wick fill over here. But we have nice clean candles on the 4 hours. Take a look at the 1 hour. Also clean candles, 30-minute. Yeah, so we have some issues in this area right here. And then once we break that, I mean, we're scot-free on the Ftse. There we go. Okay, we'll have to come back to that. Okay, it's starting to move a bit stronger at this point. The 30-minute. Oh, yeah. Okay, we've got 3 minutes left here for the candle to close. 30-minute also coming to a close. 3 minutes. We have a nice 15 pip range. Yeah, I think if this 30-minute candle is going to close above this area here in 3 minutes time, I think that we can start at that point looking for some further upside. But we got to wait for the candle to close. Okay, again, we need to wait for candles to close here. If it closes above this little minor resistance, I think it's probably not good enough for me. It needs to close above this whole rejection area. It's coming back in the range now with a minute left. Man, not sure what's going on with GJ here today. Not sure at all. One hour time frame also trying to go bullish. Okay, we got 12 seconds left here. So now we have to look at, okay, what's going to be our range? Oh, yes. Stop losses. If it closes candle will close with no wick to the top.
Wow.
After all of that.
What's going on?
After all of that. Man. GJ. Damn. Okay. So, when candle closes with no wick to the top. Even the 1 hour it closed above this rejection area here too. See, it looked so good, but okay. So when price does that, when it closes no wick to the top, I have a little rule. I want to see how the next 15-minute candle closes. So let's say that the next 15-minute candle closes bearish, a weak bearish, closes somewhere over here. Then we can either wait for a support to form or a break of the high for price to continue. But my feeling here is since this candle had no wick to the top, look at this, just retracement. So I think we're going to need to wait. I mean, we could anticipate if it breaks its own high, but many a times it does that and then closes bearish or something like that. Yeah, I think I'm going to need to wait for the first 15-minute candle to close here because it's still the first 15 of the 30-minute of the 1 hour. So I think that's going to be the right thing to do in this scenario. But we do have a break and close above 141.220. So at this point, we have a bullish bias confirmation in our head. So we have a confirmation because we're closing above this area. The issue is that we had basically no wick to the top. Yeah, this is my only issue is it can do something like this. Create that top wick and then close bearish. But in normal terms, sometimes if we have volume, you could expect price to continue. But in this particular occasion, we didn't really have a lot of volume. It was consolidating for a long time before breaking out. So I think, it's going to be the best thing to do is just to wait at least for the first 15-minute candle to close here. And then if, let's say, the next 15-minute candle closes bullish, then we could anticipate for the next 15-minute candle to also continue moving up. We just got to make sure we also got enough range here for buys. So, I probably just need to wait. Yeah, see, this was what I was concerned about. See, this is what happens a lot of times when candles have no wick to the top. Okay, so we're just waiting over here. So if the push is going to happen on the 4 hour, it's more than likely going to happen within, the last hour of that 4 hour, which is obviously this 1 hour candle. So we still got 4 15-minute candles for that whole 1 hour to do what it wants to do. So I think if we wait for at least the first 15 minutes to do its thing, then we're going to be able to make a better informed decision. So while we wait here, let's take a look at gold. Oh, so gold is closing below this area here. So if gold can create like a minor resistance, then gold can continue moving bearish. I think gold can continue down to 1849. That'd be pretty good. Let's take a look on the 5 minute. Yeah, I think if we can create a resistance right over here, then gold is going to be... I think gold sells would be a really nice play if gold can stay below that zone. 30 minute also closing below. 1 hour closing strong. So yeah, so we may see the next 1 hour pull up a bit. And then if we start to create resistance over here, I think it's going to be really good for gold to continue down. GJ should be pushing up. I entered on the 30-minute retest. Yeah, nice. I think it can definitely move up. But when I see a candle with no wick to the top on the 15, on the 30-minute, on the 1 hour, it just puts me off entering in straight off the bat. So I at least want to let the first 15 minutes set up. If it closes, let's say something like this, then we can anticipate further upside at that point. But I just want to wait here for at least the first 15-minute candle to close. Yeah, this 15-minute candle looks like the booby trap candle that we see happen a lot of times. And then we should get the 30-minute wick fill on gold. Especially if it can respect the high of the previous 30-minute candle. It's like 22 pips. And you have a nice 50 pip range, 60 pip range. And then for the wick fill, we're talking around, again, yeah, 22 pips, something like that. But again, we'll see how the first... Yeah. Think maybe wait for the first 15-minute to close. Let's take a look on the 5-minute. What's going on the 5-minute? Oh, so the 5-minute tried to break the high over here. It's now coming back to this area. So I think it's a good idea to be patient here still. I think that's a pretty good idea. Oh. Ooh, coming back in the range. Man, people in buys. This is exactly why I wanted to wait. Oh, look at this. Straight back in the range. If we come back in the range, then GJ is just goat shit today. Take a look at the 15 minutes. Got 5 minutes left to close. So, I mean... Yeah, I think if it surpasses... See, this is the 5-minute breakout candle. If it surpasses that low on the 5-minute breakout candle, then I would say the buys no longer valid at that point, because this candle had the volume to break through this zone. And if you get a candle that has the volume to break the breakout candle, then I don't think it's looking good at that point. You know, what you'd want this 15-minute candle to close above this area, right? But if let's say you're in buys right now. Let's say you're in buys and you entered in somewhere over here. And let's say, you know, you see price coming back in the range, and let's say your stop loss is roughly around 8-9 pips. So let's say your stop is below the 15-minute candle. I would be looking at the 5-minute to say, okay, well, this was the breakout candle right over here. So if it surpasses the low of the breakout candle, I think there's a probability that it's going to hit your stop loss at that point. So I would then be looking to manage risk. The other factor as well, if you look at the 5 minutes, they're closing back below this range, but at the same time, you know, the 5 minutes are weak confirmation, so it could easily close back above this area here. The only thing I would say is you really need to be looking at, okay, since this 15-minute is in its last 4 minutes, if it breaks its own low, there's a higher chance then it's going to continue down to hit your stop loss. And if it breaks its own low, it would also be breaking the 5-minute breakout candle, which is always my rule. If there's a 5-minute breakout candle and it breaks that, then, you know, there's more volume to come back in the range than there was to break out of the range. So at that point, you would want to be, you know, like cautious, and you'd want to manage your risk. But of course, that's up to the individual. That's just my advice. And that's something that I would do. Because if I was in buys, I probably would have closed 50% when we break this low, and then the rest of the position, or even I'll be looking at this now. If this 5-minute candle breaks the low of the previous 5-minute candle in the last 3 minutes, it makes no sense that we're going to stay above this area, and it makes sense that the 15-minute is going to close back in the range. But if this 15-minute candle closes above this area, then I think we're going to have to wait for like a support at that point, because there's not enough range to take a buy up over. Yeah, I probably want to wait for a support maybe, but we'll take a look on the 5-minute either way. But yeah, let's just wait and see here. Oh, it's flipping bullish in the last couple minutes here. So yeah, see, it never surpassed the low of the breakout 5-minute, and it's coming back up in the range. But you did have to be cautious. If it just came down and broke that 5-minute breakout candle, it makes no sense whatsoever for you to have your full position still in swing. It makes sense at that point to, you know, manage your risk. Since when you started trading? I started learning Forex 4 years ago, and I started trading live. I started doing these live sessions about 3 months ago. And I've been profitable for about, I don't know, like a year and a half, something like that. So, but when people say how long you've been trading, I just say 4 years, because that's how long it took me to get where I am now. So I think people need to hear 4 years and not 2 years, or not a year and a half, because then they think that, you know, they can do the same in a year and a half, and it just doesn't work like that. Yeah. So if this 15-minute candle closes bullish, I mean, there's a very high chance at that point for the next 15-minute candle. Oh, look at this. Yeah, see, if this runs, then there's just not enough range to take buys at that point, and we missed a move. Oh, yeah, look at this. Looks like we're going to miss the move over here. Oh, yeah, look at that. 141, 370 is incoming now. But yeah. Hambuck. Watch Capital Hungry live stream instead. Okay, well, that's fine. I don't mind people saying things like that, because we catch plenty of pips here too. So, but I appreciate you trying to look out for your friend or mentor or whatever. But that's fine. So yeah, looking on the 15-minute time frame, seems as though it's closed bullish. There's not enough range at this point to there's not enough range to take a buy at this point. Let's take a look on the 30-minute. Yeah, we get pips here too. Exactly, man. Plus, I know what Capital Hungry is all about. His name's Jeevan. He's a great trader. Perfect. If you guys want to go watch him, if you're more fundamentals, I completely agree. He's a great trader. He trades off the 1 minute. We trade off the higher time frames here. We do things differently. But I mean, I don't appreciate Hambuck coming on and trying to do a bit of trash talking, but it really don't bother me, because I know that I've still got 61 viewers here, so people haven't left to come and move streams. So I think they're interested in what we got to say here. But yeah, it looks like these buys are played out. Just couldn't get an entry at that point because yeah, let's take a look on the 5 minute. Let's see how we could have anticipated that move. I mean, I suppose only since when it broke the high of this 5 minute candle did it start to move up. But it was, yeah, just no confirmation on the 5 minute. On the 15-minute time frame though, since we broke the high of the breakout candle, made sense. But at the same time, you know, I've seen this happen a lot of times. The other thing as well is it came back in the range. Wasn't really liking it, but there you go. Looks like the move's playing out. So you win some, you miss some, and you lose some, and that's trading. So there we go. So now we got to look at, okay, where's the next area that price is gonna go? Okay, well, we know the next area based on the higher time frames is going to be 141,500. So let's measure this range. This is around like a 13 pip range. So, oh, hold on 1 second. I'll be back in literally like 1 minute. Bear with me. Oh, what's going on, guys? Oh shit! Look at GJ. Damn. Well, congratulations to anyone who took buys. You should be securing profits. Wow, look at that. So I think the analysis from the daily time frame was correct. Break of the high, came up to fill the wick, continued on. Wow, this is going to keep going. Look at this. Damn. Yeah, there was no sells here today. Straight buys. Straight buys. Jayan got 27 pips. Nice. Well, we did call it. Break and close above 141, 220 for price to continue bullish. So there you go.
I just went to make a drink. It's gone flying.
Yeah, literally, man. I literally, I got called in by my mum, and then I come back and I see, take a look on the 15-minute. Wow. Just when we thought there wasn't enough range. See, it makes me laugh though, like how it done it now. It makes no sense. Technically, we had all the volume by now, you know? But
yeah, I was hoping for us to like create a high, but this is just gone flying.
Yeah. See, if this candle just had the tiniest wick, we would have taken buys. We would have had a great day today. But yeah, no, it is what it is. But yeah, there you go. So, I mean, I know we didn't get a piece of the pie today, but for those of you, you know, who missed the move, all you can really do is just see how you could have caught that move. I think on this particular example, it was very tough. It was a very tough situation because when there's a candle with no wick to the top, I always find that, I know Raja says it's like 50-50, but I always find that actually it's more times than not, it doesn't continue because it really indicates that there just wasn't enough range, you know, because usually when a candle, right, you see how this candle had a top wick and it pulls back, usually that's like the market kind of like retracing for a further move up, you know, because it doesn't want to impact in a sense where you just see candles just go boom, you know. It's a retracement so that the next one can fill it and then continue on. So that's kind of the always rule of thumb that we look for. But yeah, so I think from a technical standpoint today, very, very difficult. And I had some buys this morning. This is kind of what I was anticipating, us to break through 141, 220 and continue on. It then consolidated. We then waited. We then had the candle with no wick to the top. Then just waited for the next candle to close to see if it would close like a bearish or. But yeah, always got to accept you can miss the move that way. So is what it is, I suppose. Are you a price action trader? Yes. Yes. Yes, I'm a price action trader. Oh, one sec, I'll be back. One sec. Sorry about that. Okay. So yeah, looks like GJ is just going to continue up. I think I think if it can retrace, I mean, I know it's already moved up a lot at this point now. I mean, that was quite a big, how many pips was that candle? So one 30-minute candle, like 34 pips. Wow. But either way, it was all anticipated from Asian session last night. So yeah, I think it was just one of those. The volume just came later on and didn't give us the confirmations that we usually expect to see. But that's how it goes, I suppose. My screen's a little bit small. What time frame are you on, or what time frame do you trade, if you don't mind me asking? Yeah, of course. So basically, I trade off the 30-minute time frame. 30-minute time frame is what I trade off. Oh, we didn't check out gold. Oh, it came right back up in the range, but it never created a resistance. Never created a resistance over here, so that's the reason why gold didn't continue down. I'm at 40 pips. Ooh, nice. 2 fly to fall is up 40 pips. I think 141,700 is incoming if it keeps on running. And then past then, I have no more analysis because I didn't expect it to break through 4 levels of resistance. But yeah, it looks like it's on its way. 141,700 is the next target there. Where's it gone? Have I gone left? Oh, there we go. Yeah, very nice. So there you go. If you missed the move, there it was. I thought 135 was the limit. 135 was the limit? Not sure what you mean there. So the 30-minute candle, it closed at 141,615, that area there to the left. So, I mean, yeah, I think GJ is just going to probably continue on. Was that 5-minute candle? No, it was a matter of a few. Oh, 141.35. No, so these are just different targets. So basically how it works is when I take a trade, let's say I'm looking for buys over here, I'm always measuring to see where's the next target. So I've got to make sure I have enough range. So over here we had enough range, just was one of those situations, where price, I had no wick to the top and I had to wait at least for the next 15-minute candle to close for me to take that trade. That's just something that I've seen happen a lot of times. Something that's to do with my comfortability. Other people may have the comfortability to execute, but for me, I didn't. And so I measure the range. So this was the first target. And then what I say is if we can break above 141.368, then I say, okay, well, where's my next level? Where's the next area that we can head off to? And then that would be 141.500, and then I say, okay, where's the next range? And then that would be 141.620, and then after that, where's the next range? And then so on and so forth. So that's just kind of how I do it. So yeah, we've missed a move here on GJ. So I think if you missed this buy, then probably the best bet to do is to wait for like maybe New York session at this point, because more than likely 4 hours coming to a close at this point, it's more than likely going to need to retrace a little bit on the next 4 hour candle, which presents an opportunity for people who trade the NY session, to look for some further upside at that point. But yeah, so yeah, it was a tough day today. We missed a move, the initial push, which happened overnight. Then I attempted some buys over here this morning, expecting price to break through this area. Then it actually came back in the range, and then when it did finally break out, yeah, the thing was, because we had such a lack of volume, this continuation just kind of came out of nowhere. Otherwise, if I felt that we had the momentum to still continue after this candle closing with no wick to the top, then, but yeah. But there you go. Can't win them all. Okay, let's check out a few of the other pairs here, see what's going on. Oh, looks like the Ftse did go bearish. Let's take a look on the 30-minute. Yeah, it's come down to this area now. So if it can successfully close and respect this zone, then, I mean, it's got a clean range to the left. Take a look at GCAD. We didn't really... Oh, GCAD also went bullish, but GCAD, there was no confirmation whatsoever. Yeah, there was no confirmation for buys on GCAD. Yeah, nothing at all. Euro JPY, or even Euro JPY went bullish. I wonder if it was news. In fact, I wonder if it was news, because why did EJ move so much? Maybe not. Maybe there's no news. Okay, that means nothing to me. No idea what he's suggesting. But yeah, it looks like EJ's broken out of this range though. It's done a breakout. Oh yeah, so maybe you want to wait for the 1 hour candle to close at this point. Because then if the 1 hour candle can close above this area, the next 1 hour candle should do a retest and then continue moving up. I think a good target here for Euro JPY is going to be around 126.900. I think that's going to be a good target. Take a look on the 15-minute. Yeah, so it's broken out. It's doing a retest right now. So, yeah, I think we're going to call it a session a bit earlier here today, since we can kind of say at this point it's fairly evident. Oh, looks like Euro NZD did continue moving up to that area. Yeah, but it was very difficult to kind of anticipate. I think the entry there was based on the 5-minute. Yeah, I think we can kind of say here that we've missed the move. We've missed the boat with GJ. So, I mean, I think at this point, there's nothing else to really do. So, yeah, I think we're going to call it a day in around 20 minutes, something like that. Let's take a look on the 5 minute. So yeah, there you go. So yeah, I think we do need to get some stream music. Let's do a vote. Who in the YouTube wants there to be stream music? Because I tried to do it last time and I got so many complaints about, oh, we can't hear you. I don't know how to do it on my Streamlabs to make it really quiet. I turned the volume right down, but it seems to be still doing it quite loud when I used to do it. So yeah, who wants to stream music on? Because I don't really mind. I'll have either way. Because sometimes it's nice to have the music on because then it allows me, you know, to be able to say, okay, well, I don't have to talk every 5 minutes when there's awkward silence. So from a swing setup perspective as well, I mean, GJ, I did say if it breaks the high of the previous daily candle, then we are going to head up to fill the wick. I mean, it's already moved around 68 pips at that point. So from a swing, you could have had a 25 pips stop loss. It's pretty good. So yeah, who in the stream here wants some stream music coming on? EU looks like it may be breaking up as well out of that 30-minute range, but I'm done for the day. Nice. Yeah, nice. Nice one, JM. I know you caught them nice pips. EJ is falling. EJ is coming down. Ooh, yeah, see? That's why you gotta wait. I think it was always best to wait for the 1 hour time frame to close, because even on the 30-minute, can easily come back in the range of this amount of consolidation. So yeah, I think you had to wait there. Dream Wizard would be good. Yeah, I'm thinking I'm gonna do it. I think it's gonna be a good idea to do so. Okay, so we're seeing a little bit of a pullback here, but I mean, I think the move here for GJ has happened. I think New York session. I think what's more likely to happen is, you know, some form of pullback, support created, and a retest of the high. I think that's a good idea. But right now there's no trade really. There's no trade. We can't do anything. We've missed a move. So I gave the buys an opportunity before the stream. But yeah, it just didn't work out. I was expecting volume to continue us up. We pulled back, we ranged, we consolidated. And then we continued the move. Let me see if I had a wick on my MT5. No wick on my MT5 either. Man, to be fair though, I must admit, this week, in terms of subscribers and things like that, I've had a lot of people subscribe this week. So big shout out to everybody who's subscribed to the YouTube channel. So actually already, since Sunday midnight till now, I've had nearly, I think it's like 30 subscribers. So that's not even 48 hours. And we've already hit 30 subscribers, sorry. So I mean, yeah, that's pretty good within a 40-hour period to get nearly 30 people come and subscribe. So I appreciate every one of you who subscribe to the YouTube and support what we do here. Oh, if GJ breaks this high, is it going to continue on? Incredible. The last 15 minutes of the 4-hour as well. I think a retracement's obviously going to be the best thing here, because then if we get a retracement, a support formed, and then a nice continuation. But yeah, anyway, congratulations to anyone who caught these buys. I think you should have secured profits, and then you're letting a piece of the pie run to continue. But I think there should be some pullback as we're coming into pre-New York hours. So, Kelsey, you still there?
Yeah, I'm here, yeah.
So guess how much I've earned off YouTube so far?
Oh, I remember you saying it was like £1 a week once.
Yeah, it was £1 a week, but to be fair, it's a lot more than I anticipated. Not a lot, but it's better than what I thought. 2 weeks of streaming. So it's basically since last Monday till now, so which is about a week, plus a little bit, like maybe I would say a pound's worth was from before Christmas, so where people have watched the videos over the Christmas period since they've been monetized.
I'll go and say £5.
No, it's a little bit more than that.
8.
No, a bit more than that.
Really? Like over 10?
Yeah, it's over 10, yeah.
15?
Yeah, I've done 15 quid.
That's all right.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's not bad for a bit of extra
it compounds, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does compound. because obviously the more people, you know, watching, and the more people GJ's breaking the high over here. Is they're going to continue on to 141,700 at this point? Yeah, I mean, I was pretty surprised, to be honest, because obviously, you know, everyone kept saying, oh, you know, when you first get monetized, you're going to earn absolute pennies. And I thought, you know what, 15 quid for, like, let's just say a week and a half's worth of what I do anyway. I mean, it pays for a dinner on a Friday, so. But I suppose, like, you know, you could view it as, well, in 6 months' time, it could be 50 a week, you know, and then...
Yeah, probably will.
Yeah, and then a year's time, it could be 100 a week, and I suppose that's how you just got to keep on viewing it, you know. You can just keep on, what's the word? Just keep on pushing, I suppose.
Yeah, I saw Raj's, he was showing his, like, money he's made with YouTube, and it was like starting on less than 100 a month, innit?
Yeah.
And then, you know, now he's at 3K a month.
Wow. From YouTube.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
I don't know if that's Canadian dollars though, it probably is, but still.
It would be CAD dollars, yeah. But still, that's still like 1,500 quid. I think the conversion's around 1,500. So if he's making 3K, then that would mean if I got the same amount of views, let's say him, I'd be on around 1,500 a month. That's pretty good. For YouTube money, that's pretty good.
It would take it, especially when, like you said, you do it anyway, and it's like it's interactions, good fun.
Oh yeah, it's gonna take a long while though to for it to be a proper income stream. It's gonna take a while. Like, this is just, you know, 15 quid to me. I can blow that, you know, very, very easily just when you go to the shops, you know, just to buy snacks, you can blow 15 quid. So it's not influential, but it's a start, you know. It's just something. So yeah, no, I just thought I'd let you know how it's going so far.
Yeah, it's decent. Yeah. I think people underestimate how, like, it's very time consuming doing this as well. Like, you have to be dedicated every day to come on.
Oh, 100%.
I mean,
yeah. The thing is, and the other thing as well is, if I was to, you know, like, I'm not gonna say anyone in particular, but I know streamers that, you know, they kind of take days off here and there when they fancy it. And the thing is, I always see, okay, well, the minute you take days off because you can't be bothered, or that's the minute that you're probably going to lose some of that gain because someone's going to be like, okay, he's not here, so I need someone to help me. I need to go and look. So then they start finding elsewhere. And then, you know, because your lack of consistency, so I just try and be consistent, you know. So yeah, I mean, I haven't had a day off since we started streaming, you know. Obviously the 2 weeks around Christmas that's what I would have done anyway. That wouldn't class them as days off. They're just, you know, there's who would be trading at those times. So I always knew when I was going to stop trading, and then I always knew when I was going to come back on. So since then, haven't missed a day. And, you know, even if I was ill, I would still try and come on, you know. I might not be in the best shape, but I can still sit and watch. I can still, you know, commentate, and, you know, I still know what I'm doing. It's just one of those. So yeah. But yeah, no, I just thought I'd share that, because at the end of the day, like, I know some people are gonna be there like, oh man, you know, because you know what some haters are like. They'll say anything and they'll be like, oh man, you know, he's making money from the views of the YouTube, and it's like, yeah, look, I'm so happy to show anybody the pennies that I've earned from streaming. So it's not even about, you know, I don't do this for the YouTube money. That's the point, you know, because if I did this for YouTube money, anybody would give up after like a month when they realize it's not a sustainable income, you know. So, but it's just a little something as a yeah. There we go. So it looks like gold's trying to move bullish at this point. I think 1862 950 is incoming with gold. I think so. GJ is just, Yeah, it's a shame about GJ. That is because literally we had what 10 seconds left. It looked like it was gonna close really nice, and I just was like, "Yep, we're gonna take buys here. It's gonna be a really good day." And then yeah, just pushed all the way up. But I don't, in terms of the analysis, like obviously it's frustrating, but I always like to say to myself, you have to look at the positives, and the positives was. You saw it in the group, right, last night, Kelsey, what I was talking about with the daily, right? Is he there?
Oh, whoops, yeah.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah. No, so you saw how yesterday I said I took one look at the daily time frame, and I said, if we break that high, because that is a big rejection, if we break that high, then we're off. We're heading bullish. And now take a look at the weekly. I spoke about the weekly. What was the condition for weekly to go bullish was the break of the high of the previous weekly. So if you look from a weekly perspective, our next destination is 142,700. Now, if we're going to get that this week, I'm not sure. Next week, probably. But, you have to think of where's the next destination? And this is the next destination. This is the next train stop for the weekly time frame. When we go to the daily time frame, the daily time frame's next stop, it's probably going to be 141,800. If we reach 141,800, then wow. I mean, it's just hit 141,700 now. It's just continuing. It's just so.
It's a good idea. Yeah, I say it's a good idea on the daily if you maybe took a bit of a swing trade on that.
Yeah, it was something I was looking at, but you know what? I wasn't because when I did the pre-Asian session analysis, right? When I did the pre-Asian session analysis, this was support, and we were breaking below support. So I was like, okay, well, there's no buys in the Asian that I can hold it, right? Because I was looking at, okay, if there's a potential buy opportunity in the Asian session, then I could take the buy, wait till it's in profits, put stops at break even, and then anticipate overnight it's going to continue. But I didn't really expect it to do that because obviously it was in a range. I was just like, okay, typical Asian, it's going to range. We'll wake up and 7 a.m. there's going to be a volume push and it's going to break that daily high and we're going to go. And when I wake up, I see this. I see it's already moved, 30 pips at that point. So when I see this support being created, so this is kind of like we can do the analysis here for the buys. So I saw this support being created. Now I was like, okay, well, we have support being created. I know 7 a.m. on a regular basis every week is a big time of volume. Now I looked at it and I said, okay, well, it's tapped into 141, 220, right? Which when we look left is the resistance. And I said, okay, well, the thing is, this is what we would call one of these impulse entries where we have support at resistance, something I put into the impulse entries webinar. And this candle here, since it closed bullish, creating that support, but tapped into a resistance and rejected it, we would then expect the next 30-minute candle to continue. So I took entries on the close of this support, keeping the stop loss below the 30-minute candle and expecting this one to continue moving bullish, right? And then when I got the first 15-minute candle closing weak, if we look, so we can see here now, the first 15-minute candle of that second 30-minute closed a week bearish. I was like, okay, perfect. There's a very high chance at this point price is going to continue. And then I thought this candle, since it was coming above the range, was going to continue up, close below the range. And then I was like, okay, well, I think at this point, as long as we're breaking the highs, then it's going to continue. Otherwise, if it breaks low, then the bias is not valid anymore. So this candle, the next candle, it was coming up above the range, and then I started to see it, move into some good profits around 8 pips. So I thought, okay, this is the point now where I go break even, because if we come back below this resistance, right, coming into 7:30, we know between 7:30 and 8, or 8 and 8:30, that hour, there's a pullback, there's some form of rejections that can happen. So I wanted to be making sure that, I'm going to be safe coming into London Open. And it came back in the range. And then once it broke this low, I knew at that point that the trade was not valid. And by then, I had stops at break even anyway. So, I mean, it is what it is. But I was anticipating this buys. That was the buys I was looking to catch. I gave it the one chance, got stopped at break even. Then when we waited for the higher confirmation, because I was talking about, no impulse entries at that point, And when I waited for the higher confirmation, we closed above. It just so happened it closed on a wick to the top. Otherwise, it would have been a beautiful day today. It really would have been a beautiful day today. I mean, runners would have ran so well. It would have been great. But listen, let this be a lesson to anybody who maybe was in the same position as me or didn't take this trade, right? You're going to have moves that you miss. You're going to have people go, oh, I caught this move. You missed it. Or idiots that come on here and say they caught a load of pips just because they trade differently. Because it's funny, because there's going to be days that they miss a move. I'm talking generally, people in general, they miss a move and you don't, So don't be disheartened. I wasn't comfortable taking these buys. Some of you was, and it played out, but it could have easily gone the other way. So, yeah, I think that's going to be enough said there.
It's very 50-50, isn't it? Because, like, when that candle opened it, you would have been, like, 7 pips in drawdown, and you'd be thinking, oh, shit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, is this going to happen?
Yeah, the other technical thing as well is that how many times have we seen, candle come up and close above on the 30-minute, and the next one comes right back in the range? The reason why is because technically you're buying at the high. You have to accept that if you take a buy over here, you're buying at the high. Price has already moved up so much. These are your areas, technically, from, when we talk about trend, this is your areas where the buy should be taken because these are the lows. This is a high. This is a high. Now, in this particular example, yes, once you break the high, you can anticipate further upside. That's very true. But in theory of markets and trends, people always say, oh, buy at the lows, sell at the high, whatever, right? So either way, these points were the points where people should have entered buys. Now, I know that for a fact that when I see this move happen, I think there's always that possibility it's not going to work out because you're buying at the high. And, you could get caught out in a pullback or a fake out. But that just happens, right? There's nothing you can do about it. So then when I have that in the back of my mind and the candle closes no wick to the top, it's almost like, am I realistically going to want to risk it when it has all of these, if it's already 50-50 to continue down and you're buying at the high and it has no wick to the top and the next 15-minute comes all the way back in the range, it's just like, yeah, it's probably the best thing to do is to wait. So I thought if I was just a little bit tad more patient, wait for the next 15-minute candle to close, I think it would have been good. But then, yeah, after that point, it just became very difficult. Yeah, I appreciate that. Too fly to fall. I like that username. If there was a competition who's got the best username, too fly to fall. That's pretty unique. But there we go. So anyway, 141,700 was reached. All 4 targets were reached. Everything was reached. Daily targets, weekly targets. Everything was reached. Just couldn't get an entry. So welcome to the market. And I suppose let this be a lesson. And there's something I was thinking about last night. This is my last point before we call it a day. Something I was thinking about last night. The reason why the market is so great, in my opinion, is because I know that in the past, when I wasn't profitable, when I wasn't disciplined, I was used to look at the market and be like, whenever I lost, I'd be like, man, it knew I was in a buy and it wanted to take me out and it's discriminating. You think you're getting dipped out. But the fact of the matter is that's not true. Market doesn't know who is in buys, who is in sells, who's doing what. It doesn't discriminate based on race or anything like that. It's a complete impartial entity. It doesn't discriminate against anything other than if you're probably an institutional trader, you got the volume to make something happen. But in effect, market's going to do what market's going to do for us as retail traders. So with that in said, you cannot control, it really reinforced that you just can't control the outcome. And even this morning when I was really expecting price to continue bullish and I looked at it, I was like, yeah, we should continue up. I'm really confident in the fact we're going to continue up. Just that little piece of that complacency that told me, you know what? You can never sit there and feel it's not about not feeling confident in your analysis. It's about not sitting there thinking that your trade is definitely going to work out. And when you have that in your mind that it's not definitely going to work out, you're going to feel you're going to be more skilled in how to dealing with if it doesn't work out, you know, because so many times I used to back in the day, you know, be like, oh, now we've got the confirmation, it's 100% going up, I'm going to hold positions. And if it fakes out, I'll be so mad. I'll be like, man, and it should have gone my way. What's going on? But actually, it's just the fact of that is why it's so important that you understand the concept that you can't control what happens when you trade. You know, you can't control whether it's going to win or lose, but there's one thing you can, and that is how much you're going to lose. So that is why I got out of this trade pretty much a break even minus commissions, because I understood the exit signal for me to get out. You know, I understood that, okay, when I'm pushing 8 pips into profit and we come back in the range, it's not a good idea to be holding at that point, you know, because you're anticipating things to happen and it's not always going to happen. But yeah, I'm going to leave that. I'm going to leave you guys with that note there. We're going to call it a day here today. Yo D, how's it going? Yeah, I'm going to call it a day here today. So thanks to everyone for coming on the stream. Thanks to everyone in the Zoom again for coming on. So I think overall, it's a good day. You know, if your analysis plays out but you don't catch it, just be grateful that you anticipated where the market was going to go. Just be confident in your analysis, because now you know next time, okay, maybe I could have reduced the risk. You could have changed to your comfortability. My comfortability was to stay out. Someone else's could be, okay, well, everything looked good on the higher time frames. Just so happened it had no wick to the top. Maybe I could give it a go with smaller risk. There's always an option, but it's about what you feel comfortable with. So I just want to leave that with you guys. Leave that piece of advice there. But yeah, we're going to call it a day here today. I think it's going to be the best thing, because we're not going to want to, well, we would call it a day in like half an hour, and we're not going to get an entry signal at this point. It's moved up so much. I think anybody looking for buys is going to need to wait for some form of retracement. But yeah, so yeah, thanks very much everyone for coming on. Really appreciate it. We didn't hit 100 viewers today, but that's fine. You know, still got the rest of the week. I think as well, you know, for those of you who took a loss or missed a move, it's only Tuesday. We've got tomorrow, we've got Thursday, and sometimes Friday can move pretty well as well. Last Friday moved well, so we'll have to wait and see what happens. And since, you know, if we look at the weekly, I think the weekly still got some room. We've still got a lot of room. If you look on the weekly as well, we have this nice clean candle. And now we're starting to see that there definitely is more bullish momentum on the higher time frames. You know, now all you have to do is sit back and anticipate. And since this daily candle is coming to a close and it's closing strong, we could see a little bit of a pullback because we're coming up to a daily resistance. But then we have an opportunity once we break this area for even more upside at that point, you know. So just be patient. There'll be plenty more opportunities in the market. And yeah, I'm gonna leave it there. So yeah, cheers everyone on the Zoom.
Thank you.
Yeah, no worries.
Boys.
And YouTube, have a great day. And yeah, we'll see you tomorrow for 7:30 a.m. So thanks everyone on the YouTube there, and we'll see you tomorrow 7:30 a.m. GMT.